Okay. Well, welcome to the Military Minute Podcast. I'm Mike Jennings. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about transition assistance, and in particular, why it's a good idea and what kinds of transition assistance is available to you. One of the things we understand as part of our military duties is that anytime we go downrange and into unfamiliar territory, there is one thing that all military operations have in common, and that is what they call prep of the battlefield. And that involves getting to know the environment that you're going into, understanding what's out there, learning there, and finding in-country guides for the place that you're going into. And this new environment of moving through the military to civilian transition is very, very similar in this case. So the primary need for transition assistance is that the military veteran gets very little preparation on how to make this transition successfully. And because most of us came into the service either right out of high school or right out of college and never went through the process of finding a career level position, means that we don't have a whole lot of familiarity with this, especially compared to our civilian peers who have probably been through this a few times. So therefore, finding someone or some organization that can help you through this process and help you understand it better is going to make this process smoother and it's going to make it more effective for you. So then the question is, all right, well, what kind of transition assistance is out there? The most common one for all service members is the transition assistance program that is available at your base. If you haven't heard of that program and you are inside of 18 months from your intended separation date, then you need to be talking to someone in your administrative or S1 department or career counselor about the transition assistance program and getting you scheduled for it. First of all, it is one of your rights as a service member to be sent to this week-long class that is put on by the DoD in conjunction with the Department of Veterans Affairs and Department of Labor. It is a requirement that all service members attend this class because it does provide you a lot of the information that you need, not just about job search itself, but also some of the things that you need to know about your veterans benefits and ongoing service in the reserves and a number of other types of things. Now, if after going through that 5 days of class that a lot of people will talk about as death by PowerPoint for 5 full days, don't be discouraged, because the follow-on to the TAP class itself is the capstone program. And the capstone program is where you're going to get into a lot of the real specifics of what you're going to pursue coming out of the service, whether it's finding a job, which is where over 80% of the people track to, or whether it's going to school full-time using your GI Bill, or whether it's starting a business. Interestingly enough, on the business side of this, there's a huge focus on franchises that we'll talk about in an upcoming episode. And you might be interested to know that 17% of all franchises in the United States are owned by military veterans. So that's the reason why the TAP program has that track for this. So then, other than what you get from the government for this process, what else is available to you? Well, there's basically 3 types of transition assistance that's available out there. There are resources related to preparation. There are resources related to access to employment opportunities. And there are those that are focused on advocacy for you in particular. So preparation access is how to build a resume, how to interview for the jobs, how to find the jobs that you're looking for. The truth of the matter is that in most cases, most preparation assets that you're going to find that are either low or no cost to you are going to be a lot of self-serve. Certainly, we have made the Military Minute podcast in such a way to be one of these easy to access, self-serve, and no cost options that you have to you. And we want to build this with robust content that you need. However, the next level of this is job access. And there's a number of different ways that you can access job opportunities through transition assistance guides. There are organizations that specialize in that. Certainly, my companies, Absolutely American and Corporate Gray, do that at two different levels that we'll talk about here. On our Corporate Gray business, we do a military-focused job board, and we also host what we call military-friendly job fairs, either done virtually or done in person. So those are two ways that military veterans can access those types of jobs through a transition assistance company. So when you have those companies that offer access to those jobs, which means that those companies have gone out and sold employers on the benefits of hiring military and hiring them through their organizations, they usually will include some type of preparation help in order to help the military veteran succeed. And certainly we do that. The third tier of this are more of your direct advocacy companies. And this basically works on two separate ends of the spectrum. On those who maybe are highly disadvantaged veterans, if you are fully disabled, have combat injuries, there's certainly one spectrum there that is on that side that focuses on the charitable side of this. You have wounded warriors, paralyzed veterans of America, disabled American veterans, the Legion, and some of those types of organizations help on this side. On the other side of that, on sort of the extreme other end, are the parts of the military that are very highly qualified and have skill sets that are in high demand and short supply in the civilian sector, and therefore you have what you probably heard of as called military headhunters that are out there, and they focus on more of the advocacy side of this and basically directly connecting you with employers that are directly tied to what you're looking for. So that's all it is we have time for today, just to help you understand this. When we come back next time, we will jump into more detail on the different kinds of companies that are out there to help with your transition assistance. I'm Mike Jennings, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining the Military Minute. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you're notified when a new episode is released. Is there a topic or conversation you want discussed here on the show? Send it to me at scott.cunningham@militaryminute.us.